Good. So yeah, up on your feet. I thought we'd do a bit of an abdominal focused one today. So take it easy if you haven't done any Pilates for a little while, but it'll be nice to get into that core, won't it? Starting in standing, taking that little moment to find your position. Let me just get my feet in. Settling in. Working from the base up, let's just check in with our watch points that the feet are really well grounded with a little space underneath the arches. Soft knees. Gentle engagement between your pelvic bones at the front there with your tailbone gently lengthening. Starting to grow tall but settling the shoulders down, nicely opening. Back of the neck long, chin gently tucked. And we'll start with just arms. If you want weights in your hands, then use them. I'm just going to out breath one arm at a time. In breath down. So think about keeping the shoulder tops down. Think about the rib cage connection at the front there. Maintaining that strong connection, ribs to hips. So there's all the shoulder joint creating the movement. And then we'll bring in the opposite knee. So the hip hinges, you come up onto your tiptoes. Just getting our coordination started. Always long in the spine. Good. And then rest. And we'll take it to a chest stretch. So from here, arms to shoulder height. And we'll out breath them open wide. And then in breath back down to shoulder height. So we're starting to think about extending the upper back, so sending the center of the chest up towards the ceiling. So if you want to add to this, you could add tiptoes. You could add a mini squat, just keeping the back nice and upright. Or if you want to challenge your balance, try floating one leg up and then back down as the arms come down. All right, so some options there. Just floating up onto the tiptoes is also a challenge for the balance. Your choice. Good, last couple. And then rest. All right, and we'll do some roll downs. When you're ready, from your tall standing position, breath in. Breath out, the chin comes down and roll through the upper back. Focusing and thinking about the segmental movement of your spine. A nice deep round curve, breathe in. Out breath, tuck the tailbone and rebuild on top of it. Good, if you want to, you can float the arms up, come up onto your tiptoes. And as you lower back down, then take your chin onto your chest. And start rolling into that full spine curve. Breath in at the bottom. Out breath, rebuild. And we'll do one more. Lovely control and focusing on spinal mobility. Well done. And then you can use one final roll down to come down to your mat. Hopefully you're a little bit warmed up. Spine is moving well, ready to do our mat work. So give yourself a head support. Keep your weights handy if you want to use them, because we're going to be doing some overhead arms, starting with our double leg stretch. Taking a moment, finding your rest position. Nice openness through the upper body, nice and light and soft. Neutral spine. Feet comfortable distance from your bottom and hip width. And we'll use that first out breath to lift the arms. So have a breath in, engage your pelvic floor, breath out, lift the arms till they point towards the ceiling for your second breath in here. And then slowly we're coming overhead with the arms, focusing on keeping the rib cage connected at the front there, just exploring the shoulder range in breath back. Okay, you can keep going with just the arms or start adding the heel slide. Both arms, one heel. Controlling any movement through the through the center of the body, keeping the center of the body nice and still, position consistent. Good. You can keep going there, or if you want to and you're ready, you can bring the legs up. So you're in tabletop, strong neutral spine, flat tummy, just a couple with the arms only, getting used to being in tabletop and maintaining your really still position there while the shoulders move. And then if you want to, you can add the legs to this. And if it is too strong, if it strains your back or you can't maintain your flat low tummy, just bring the feet back to slide on the mat again. If you're getting any clunking in the hips as they push away, try really consciously engaging your pelvic floor. Don't send the legs so low to the mat, just keep it more on a diagonal. If it's still a problem, bring your feet back to the mat. You're going for a couple more if you can. One more to each side. And then rest your arms and legs. Good. And we'll take it to some hundreds. We'll leave the head and shoulders down for hundreds, so use any of the other progressions that you want to, with the weights added to your hands and tabletop either one or two leg. Let's just prepare with one leg, two if you're joining, and then out breath your arms to hover. So you can, as you're pulsing your arms there from the shoulders, keeping the elbows nice and straight, you can keep the palms facing down to the mat, or you can face them up towards the ceiling to make it slightly more challenging. Keep the knees right over your hips. Don't bring the knees into the chest. They need to be right angles at the hips and knees. Good. Pelvic floor really engaged to keep that effort down deep into your low tummy, deep into your pelvis. Keep breathing, keep pulsing. Think about where the breath is going. So it's coming up the nose. And as you deepen it, you're trying to send it into your side ribs, so your ribs open out to the sides. Keeping those ribs connected at the front. Keep going if you can. If you want to straighten your legs, you can try that. As long as you can keep your little space behind your low back intact. Keep pulsing. Anything that you add on, if it becomes too much, you can just take it back again. Last few, I'll count you down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good, well done. Just check back in with your neutral, with your good mat position. And we'll take it to some scissors. So a little recovery time, just to practice your level ones, floating up, in breath back down, out breath up, In breath back down, alternating sides. You could add the arm hover if you want to, but we are going to progress this, so just go with it. Good, one more to each side here at level 1. And then the next time, bring one leg up and join it with the other leg. And from here, we'll take a breath in, out, breath down, in, breath back up. Opening the front of hip angle. Keeping the knee at 90. So you're not bending the knee to find the mat. Good. So you can keep working there, level 2, or if you want to take one foot down for a breath in and switch on the out breath. Make sure it's all in the hip. Keep your upper body soft. If you want to finish off doing some on the in and the out breath, you can. So the hips keep moving, the low back, low tummy all stays lovely and still. Keep that knee angle at 90. Well done. Last couple. And then just bring your knees in and give them a hug. Give your back a stretch. And our last ones on our back are going to be our abdo preps. Okay. So back to the mat, back to your rest position, neutral spine, arms alongside you, use your weights if you want to, or supporting your head if you need to. Just take the weight of your head like that as you come up. Bring it to that if your neck starts to feel that it's getting strained. Arms hover alongside, have your breath in to prepare, and then we'll out breath forward. Breathe in to hold, breath into those outer side ribs, and then lower. Good. If you want to, while we're doing these slow ones, you can add the arm lift. In, breath them up and down. While you hold those front ribs towards the hips, keeping that little space there nice and tight, but the space behind your back intact. Imagining a peach held under your chin, you're just keeping it there. Good. One more slow one. And then rest. Okay, and for our quicker ones, you can leave the arms hovering with the weights in if you want, or if you need to, take the hands behind your head, keeping the elbows lovely and wide. Out breath up, in breath down. Straight into the next one, out breath, in breath down. But in your own time, at your own breath rate. Last couple. And rest. Good. And we're going to take it to obliques. So with your obliques, you can keep one hand behind your head, just push your head support away if you still had it in. The other one can be alongside, and you can out breath across and in breath back, just keeping that long arm hovering. But if you want to make this more challenging, then you can do the obliques with a one leg stretch. So from your tabletop position, you'll come across to one knee while the other one pushes away, and then in breath down. So if you're leaving the long arm hovering, then you'll need to work all to one side, so that you do a few repetitions. And then we'll have a swap. But if you're supporting your head in both hands, you can alternate. Shoulder towards opposite hip, keeping that elbow out nice and wide. One more. And then rest. And give yourself a little break to switch sides. Okay, coming up into tabletop if you want to. Hovering the other arm, ready. Out breath across, in breath back. Just keeping that pelvis lovely and level, so you're resting equally on both sides of the pelvis. It doesn't tip over. It's just the upper body coming diagonally towards the lower body. Three more if you can. Never lose that space behind your low back. Last one. And then rest. You can give your knees another hug if you want to give your back a stretch. We're going to be coming over onto our sides. Okay. What we'll do is we'll start with just the hip, and we'll do some lift and lowers. Just give the abdominals a little bit of a rest. And then when we do clam, we'll use that option of your sort of half side plank to really keep the obliques and the abdominals involved. We'll give them a rest. We'll start with our lift and lowers. So one long line, hips stacked, shoulders stacked, fingers away from the mat if you can manage. And we'll out breath the whole leg up. Out breath up, in breath back down. Thinking about the space underneath your side waist, underneath this lower side, not getting shut down. And careful not to hitch through the top hip as well. Keep this leg back in line with your body. Keep going if you can. Last couple. Finishing up. And rest. Good, let those legs bend. Give this one a little hug. Of course, we're coming on to clams, so it's going to keep working now. So we're going to push up if you want to, otherwise stay lying down into our propped position. So strong in the shoulder, keep the shoulder drawn away from your ear, your elbows right underneath it. Now, knees start together, keep that top hip forward and heels together as well. So you can come up with every rep, so you come up into your side plank and then lift into your clam, lower and come back down, or you can try and maintain the side plank for some reps. Leave that up to you. So lift, holding, holding, clam, and back down. Or you can stay and do some out breath up, in breath down. Just be really careful of this shoulder. Keep it strong, don't hang off the joint. Keep that top hip angling forward so you're not rolling back. Come down if you need to reset your plank. Well done. Last couple of whichever version you're doing, make these the last couple of reps. And then rest. And come all the way onto your larger head support. Take your arms out in front of you so we can do some arm openings. Let's get that upper back moving. Lengthen the back of your neck, gentle chin tuck, and then out breath open. Really sending the center of the chest up towards the ceiling, dropping those ribs behind you. Remembering your breath in. Good, one last one. Okay. And actually a nice bit done. We're going to come back to abdominals. In sitting, sit on your cushion if it helps. You can keep your weights if you want to use those. And you can have your knees bent with your feet flat, or if that doesn't work for you, take the legs out straight. Really lovely and upright. Create those good spine curves, your normal neutral spine position with the crown of the head growing really tall. Have your breath in. You're going to take the arms out in front. And then out breath, tip back over the sitting bones, rounding off, rolling over into this curved low back position. And then come forward. So we're using the out breath to move, to round off through the spine. Keep the chest elevated though, don't collapse. If your neck's too achy, just cross your arms across your chest instead. What we'll do is we'll add to this for those who want to, that once you've rolled back and you're in that curve, you hold it with your low tummy drawing back towards your spine and lift and lower the arms. So as always, try and lead from the pelvic floor. So think about drawing up through your bladder control muscles while you're holding that position and lift and lower. You're not holding your breath though. We're breathing in here. One more of these and then we'll bring it to obliques. Keep your shoulder tops away from your ears, but if you are struggling, just bring the arms to cross across your chest instead. Lovely. Okay. Bringing it to obliques. You're tipped back And one arm opens, back and up. So you roll back, you're in your curve, you keep your hips pointing straight forward, but the upper back rotates. So the center of your chest comes out as your arm opens out to the side. Or you can cross and do a spine twist. Last one to each side. And then rest. Excellent. Okay, down to our other sides then. Starting all the way down your mat, starting with your lift and lowers. When you've created your long line with length through both sides of the waist, you can make a start. Now breathing up. In, breath back down. Keep this shoulder lovely and open. The back of the neck long. And just be really careful not to roll back. So keep yourself on your narrowest point. And if you're using your hand, use it lightly. Keeping this low tummy, just conscious of engagement here. Keep it involved. Last couple. And then rest. Good. So we're bending the knees. Like I said, you can stay and do your usual clams here if you want to, or bring it up to keep those obliques working. All right, strong shoulder, most importantly. Try and keep your head in line so that you're not here or dropping your head down. Just try and keep it, that spinal alignment. Good, when you're ready then. Lift and clam. Lower, come back down to the mat if you need to, or stay up for some reps. As always, out breath up, opening the hips, keeping the heels together, squeezing into the glutes. If you need to reset, just come back down. Good. One more little set. So you do 3 more. And then rest. Brilliant. All the way down onto your bigger cushion. Finishing on this side with arm openings. So weight in the top hand if you want to, but look after that shoulder, don't overstretch it. Both shoulders away from the ears, long back of your neck, hips stacked, out breath open. So all the time here, you're breathing out and you breathe in to stretch. You get to use your out breath to support your way back over. Finishing with just one more. Good. And we'll bring it to 4-point kneel. So what we'll do next is our swimming. And if you've got weights that you can rest on, you can put them in your hands while you position yourself into your 4-point kneel. We'll start with the arms, build it up until we're working on arms and legs together. So find neutral spine, shoulders away from your ears and long back of your neck. Just keep those feet, the tops of your feet really light. Try not to push down on the mat with your feet, just keep them light. Center engaged, and when you're ready, out breath and arm forward. In breath that down. The alternating sides through the shoulders, keeping the position through the rest of the body, lovely and consistent. And if you're not using weights, you can rest on the palms of your hands or the fists of your hands. Just keep looking down between those hands though, to keep the back of the neck long. Okay, rest the arms for now. Shoulders stay strong, away from your ears, and we'll work on the legs. So one at a time, push away towards the wall behind you. In breath back. Out breath away. Keep the pelvis as level as you can so you don't tip over from side to side. Time to think about that tray of drinks across your back. Not letting any slide. So don't worry about the leg coming too high. Think glutes engaging. Low back staying nice and long. And then when you're ready, you can out breath with the opposite arm. Joining in for our level 4. Okay, keep working there. If you'd like to progress it, we'll bring it into the middle. So after a breath here, holding, out breath, bring the elbow to the opposite knee underneath, stretch away again, and come down. More abdominals. Out breath away, pause to hold that lovely position in a balance. Then out breath in, squeeze, push away, and down. Last one to each side. Good. And have a rest back. Gives your wrists a rest and give them a stretch, because we're going to do some plank preps. Now, if your wrists really have had enough, do your planks on your forearms instead. Give you a quick reminder of that for those who want to, and then I'll show you the other version if your wrists are doing all right. So here's our position for the forearm plank. shoulders away from the ears. You can come up onto just your knees by lifting the pelvis up. Your breath in and hold, or you can tuck your toes under. Tuck your toes under and lift. So you end up on your toes and your forearms, creating that nice strong line between shoulders and heels. Okay, so there you can work, or we'll take it into our leg pull-in prone prep. So the hands are further forward of the shoulders for our level 2s. You're in neutral spine, toes do need to tuck under. Have your breath in, and then out breath to hover and slide into that plank. Breath in to hold. Come back and lower. So if we're preparing for the actual full leg pull-in prone, it would be to come onto one leg in your plank so you can draw the other knee in. If you want to start working towards that, you can start working on just trying to come into the one leg version. So lifting from a static plank, alternate legs, like we do in swimming. Or just keep working on coming in and out of it. So our last exercise, I'm just going to stretch after this. Well done. Come back via your hover and rest and sit back. All done. Just lower your chest down between your knees. Reach your fingertips forward. Try and keep your bottom down. And then rest your head. Good. Push back up enough to get your knees together. We want to try and stretch out the side. So we'll take the hands across. Hopefully you feel a stretch. If you're keeping your bottom down on your heels, you're feeling a stretch down the side, waist and ribs. If you're not quite, then just shift your bottom slightly away from the side your hands have gone to. So you add in that glute and just deepen the side stretch. Stay and breathe. Good. Walk the fingers back, shift your bottom back, and then go the other way. So you can shift the bottom across first if you want to, or leave it till the hands are walked around. Good, and then back to the centre. And we'll finish with some hip flexor stretches. Always really important. You've done a lot of abdominals. They do tend to want to join in. So onto your knees. Good, and take a big step forward with one foot. So foot and the knee are hip width distance. Nice and upright, tailbone tucked. You start feeling that stretch in the front of the thigh, but then deepen it by sliding forward. Bending the front knee. Focusing on the front of the hip. Lovely. Have a push back. We'll do the hamstring on this front leg. Keep the knees soft, but the legs straight, and hinge forward at the hips, just to stretch down the back of that thigh. Lovely, let that front knee bend so that you can push back and switch sides. Coming first into the hip flexor stretch. And then push through the front leg. Bring your weight back so you can fold forward over the front leg. Lovely. Let the front knee bend so you can come back again. So tuck your toes up and down and come back from the mat however you would like to. Maybe lifting into one more forward fold and stretch for the backs of the legs while you breathe in. And then out, breath back up. And you're all done. Well done.